Hey YouTube, Strictly Broken here, doing another Strictly Rants for you guys today. As you can see, I'm in my car. I kind of kicked myself out of the card store. Why? Because I realized that if I was going to do this type of video in a place where people are currently playing card games, it would be very disrespectful to them. So I just kicked myself out. Kevin's in there just fucking around or some shit, I don't know, taking care of business while I'm yodeling along. Anyways, today I want to kind of step outside of all this usual ranting about competitive play, competitive concepts and all that, and talk about my kind of problem and what I dislike about current organized play events in Waste Shores specifically. So a lot of people have already complained, and I won't go too much into it, that they really dislike Waste being a best of one game because they feel like there's enough sack in this game and matchups are all rarely beyond a 70-30 threshold that it doesn't really it's not a true representation of their playing ability in the circuit events. I can buy that. I subscribe to that. I totally buy it. As someone who has had very fortunate luck in the circuits over the past 3 years, I do see a lot of people who deserve to kind of shine a bit in the events. God, it's fucking cold. But they just don't because of the best of one format, and they just get completely dick sacked round 1 and 2, and it's over. It's over. You're in a 6-round tournament. X2 just doesn't work in those events. And being best of one means if you start the event unlucky, it's fucking too bad for you. And also, like, if you get a bye round 1, if you lose the next 2, your bye was basically worth as much as me stroking my dick in the middle of a game and getting a game loss. I actually don't know if I would get a game loss for doing that. I don't have a problem with best of one, actually. I don't think best of one is the problem. But I think people have already recognized, and I myself included, that it's not, the solution is not to make it best of 3. Because every round would take as long as a feature-length James Cameron movie. The actual solution to, like, tournament kind of to kind of these events is just to make more rounds so that you'll play like 10, 11, 12 rounds rather than 5 or 6. What does this basically mean? It's kind of like, imagine your entire afternoon of like your 11, let's use 11 as a number, your 11 round event. By 11 rounds, if you win about 6, 7, you'll probably make the top cut. 7, 8, I'm not gonna math it, but it basically means treat like the whole tournament as a best of 11 type of thing. And when you have 11 rounds, people who lose the first 3 but kind of gain the momentum and start winning more later can still top. It's not, and everyone feels like they have a chance all the way up until like round 5 or 6, so people can still feel like it's an exciting event. Make Waste a 2-day event. Have day 1 be like most of the rounds, and then the next day be the last 2 rounds, and then top cut. Don't fucking make it a 5-6 round tournament and then 3 more rounds after. It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make that much sense, because I see way too many people who have no more interest to play Waste because they feel like their effort isn't being well rewarded in terms of the tournament circuit. It'd be so much better with 11 rounds. Like, it would flow better. And like, now that Luck and Logic is dying, and in my personal opinion Dragonborn is heading in that direction, like, your tournament circuit just has the space for Waste. I know a lot of bigger areas in the world, like in the US, California and stuff, Vanguard day 1 has like 300 people. I understand. If there was just, I don't know how you would do this logistically, but if there was 11 rounds and you're kind of testing for basically a best of 11 against 11 different opponents, I think people who play better will be rewarded more by this system, and people who care about having their results kind of reflected will be more willing to stay in these tournaments, play longer, and maybe invest in better decks overall for these events, because now it seems more worth it. If you get sacked twice, you just have to win 7, or you can have like a pacing where you're winning 1, losing 1, winning 1, and then you win a couple, and now you're on like a high roll, and you just gotta keep winning 1, losing 1, winning 1, losing 1. It's much better. I think everyone benefits for that, except for people who just don't actually want to play there and just want to get the promos. But it doesn't matter whether it's currently how it's set up now or if you make it 11 rounds. Those people are just going to get their promos and leave. I think, honestly, Bushiroad, USA, whatever, Singapore, if you're watching this for your circuit events, just make waste more rounds. I think your players will love it more. I think everyone will actually love it more. More people will show up to the events. But making it best of 3, like, no one wants to make it best. Best of 3 is definitely not the answer. Best of 3 would just make me quit competitive ways, because it's just too many games. It's just too fucking long. Not worth it. But 11 rounds gets you into a good groove. A best of 11, yeah, that's good. And then when you get to Top Cut, now the problem with Top Cut, and I've said this before, but I'm sure I haven't said this in a very public video. I think Top Cut is a complete gong show. Whether you win or lose, it's just so. So the most recently, 2017 Autumn Circuit, the one I won, I played top 8 against the 2014 World Champion. It was best of 1. His game was a complete brick. He just had no hand. He had to sack a brainstorm mid game to get the hand back. His level 1 game was complete poo. AOT was just taking a dump on Sal. Like, that type of game shouldn't be indicative of your ability to make it further along in the tournament. And like, I think that top 8 should be played best of 3, top 8 or top 16, whatever you want to make it. I know it's like 9 rounds, up to 9 rounds, just to play those 3 matches that need to be played. But it's 3 matches. It's like basically day 1 again as day 2. Day 1 you just play all the rounds. Day 2 you have top 8, really grinding out top 8. Because I think it's so unfair for people who worked so hard day 1 or during the first 6 rounds as it is now, to work so hard to go X1 or XO and just completely get dicked out in top 8 first round because of a bad draw, a bad opener. Especially after deck checks, they might have not shuffled their deck well enough. It wasn't properly mixed. Stuff like this happens all the time. It's unreasonable. It's not fair for the waste players who work hard to get into top 8, like hit their sluck, whatever. So I do think top 8 should be played best of 3. It just makes a lot more sense. And it wouldn't take that much longer. Honestly, like best of 3, a lot of the times you won't even hit 3 games, and like a 2-hour round, 6 hours, like that's a reasonable timing for like being top 8. Being top 8 means something. It shouldn't just be a 1-round sack, get out of here, you're done, you get a mat, you get a trophy, bye-bye. You might not even get a trophy if you don't win the first round of top 8. It's just sad stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I play the circuit, I love waste, and yeah, I just wish they would treat the tournament more competitively. Like they're already doing great things, sending you to Japan, making you feel like there's a prize to give. But I want that prize to be earned more, instead of just feeling like you had to win a lot of best of 1s to get to that point. And like at any point, if you got dicked out on, you would just be out of the competition. So yeah, just to summarize, I think the Swiss rounds should be played more rounds, significantly more rounds, so that people who have like a lower, like just have worse luck in the beginning, or just maybe lost a couple bad matchups in the beginning, have a chance to kind of bounce back, instead of having this. There's not a lot of flexibility with like 6 rounds. If you lose 1 or 2, you're just done. But with 11, you can lose 1 or 2, and it's okay. You can keep going. And then in top 8, I think it's so crucial to play best of 3, because I just think it's so unfair that you could even have gone XO making top 8. Like you're the first seat, but just because you're playing 8th place and they sacked you out with their 2-soul, or you just drew really badly, drew all 8 climaxes, or drew 5 climaxes, I don't know, losing. That means your entire XO record was just for naught. It's almost better you're almost incentivized to go X1 in waste tourneys at Spring Circuit and Autumn Circuit. Because if you go XO, there's actually no point to it. You actually get no benefit of going XO, especially when all the X1s, it's like arbitrarily paired. 8th doesn't actually mean he's a worse player than 4th. It's just how the tiebreakers worked out, right? It doesn't actually substantially mean much. I guess I should have disclaimed that this was referring specifically to English. WGP, whole nother problem. Also best of 1, should really be something else. But there's WGP is structured in a way in North America where just a lot of small regionals, and it's really hard to like manage that. But yeah, English circuit, I think Bushiroad USA, you're doing a great job with all your prizing, with the way you're supporting the players. But I really think Waste and the Waste community really does want like something more like substantive in terms of like the tournament. Like it should mean more. Right now it means like if I win a tournament and I go tell all my buddies, yo, I won this tournament, they'll be like, you sacked 8 rounds, good job. But it should feel like you were a better player because you got through 11 rounds, having a positive win record, and you were able to win best of 3s in top 8. That just seems like a win. That seems like something like to be proud of. Right now it kind of feels less so. My balls are freezing the fuck out. I'm fucking cold as shit. So I'm gonna call that a wrap. Once again, guys, thank you for being subscribed to the channel. Really appreciate all of you. Yeah, Strictly Broken signing off. Peace. See you guys next time.